Okay, it is recording. So yeah, hi everyone. Good to see you here today for our third class in the Power Apps and Automations classes. So let me start the presentation here and then just a quick introduction about myself. I'm Carolina Malta. I am Program Manager and Engineer at Microsoft. And I'm also Power Pages SME. So yeah, I have enjoy a lot working with Power Pages, but anything in Power Platform, I also work with. So for today, we are covering Dataverse. So we'll see how to data modeling using Dataverse. So for now, as I said, the chat is muted, but if you have any questions during the session, please feel free to use the chat. I will be, while I will check the chat. So if you have any questions, please do ask. And then moving forward, so this is our agenda for today. So first, we are going to have a Dataverse overview. And then we'll review some concepts within Dataverse. So then we'll review solutions, tables, columns, roll-up, calculated, and formula fields, relationships, forms and views, charts and dashboards. And then at the end, we are going to do a hands-on demo. Then I will show you how to use all these components. Okay. Okay, so let's start with our first of all, with our Power Platform architecture component. So as you may know already, this is the third class. So Power Platform is a local platform for rapid building customized end-to-end business. So it's a local platform, so it means that you can easily rapid develop apps and solutions for your needs, for your customer. And then today we are going to focus on Dataverse. So Dataverse is a foundation to build apps, for example, model-driven apps or Power Pages. You also can use a lot in Power Automate. So today we'll see why Dataverse is so powerful and why you should be using Dataverse. Okay, moving forward. So Dataverse is a true relational database that offers full extensibility to the rest of the platform. So as I mentioned, so you can use Dataverse with Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Pages. So many of the Power Platform components you can leverage Dataverse. And then here, what Dataverse unlocks, what Dataverse have. So we have built-in data security model based on your footprint in Azure. So it means that Dataverse is connected to Azure, so you also can manage few things on Azure side as well. Then we have standard tables connected to Azure as well. So if for some reason you need to manage some tables in Azure, it's connected out of the box, so you can easily do that. Then we can customize forms and views for your users to interact with data. Then the LAM process as well. So it's pretty straightforward to work with the LAM in Dataverse. So you can easily develop your components and move to other environments very easily. I will show how to do it today. And then We have business rules. So business rules, you can introduce data logic consistent across apps. So you can easily build automated rules. Then here on the right-hand side, we have model-driven app access. So yeah, you can build model-driven apps. We are going to build next class model-driven app, but today we are working with the components of model-driven apps. So then next class we are just going to add these components in the model-driven app. Let me check the chat. Good question. ALM. Yeah, so ALM is application lifecycle management. So you usually start the LAM, the life cycle, developing an app in development environment. And then once you are ready with this app, then you have the life cycle. The life cycle sometimes is you get this app and you move to test environment. Then you have your testing scenario. So you have users testing. And once you are happy, you are moving to the next stage, can be UIT, but can be production. So you are just continuing the life cycle, so development, testing, and production. So then the app will go live. So yeah, LAM is the when we say that this process that to move the solutions, to move the components between environments, basically. Yeah, okay, thank you for putting the chat as well. Okay, so moving forward in our presentation here, why to use Dataverse, right? So the most important thing is it unlocks the entire Power Platform. So as I mentioned, Dataverse is really, really important when you are building apps. So it's the best way of structuring your data to work with apps. So for example, model-driven apps, you can use external data source, but then within Dataverse. So Dataverse is the starting point to build apps. Especially Power Pages and model-driven app, because Canvas apps, yeah, you saw last class that you can use SharePoint, external data sources, but for this type of apps, you must use Dataverse. Yeah, and as I said already, so simplified LAM solution management. So you have built-in supports to move tables and property across environments, and supports a good LAM practice. So you can easily build pipelines. So pipelines is just a way to automate the LAM. So instead of we are going to see this, but instead of exporting a solution manually, move to another environment, you can create a pipeline to automate these tasks, and it will be easy for you every time that you want to deploy to production or you want to deploy to test. You can easily do it with a pipeline, for example. Then security and data management. So you can easily grant data access to the teams, transfer the tables with security role, and configure access teams. So we are going to see this next class, but you can easily configuring data access as you wish. So let's say you have 5 teams that you need to grant access, but not everything. So one team will have access to one specific table or one specific app, for example. You can easily secure your data and granularly like secure this data. For example, if you have a team that shouldn't see financial tables, for example, just financial team will be able to see this data so you can easily secure your data. Then we have massive storage capability, so capacity share across the entire tenant with easy monitoring, unlimited file and data support to that level. So yeah, you can manage the capacity, so you can see how much storage table, for example, is consuming. If you are running out of capacity, so you can easily assign more capacity. So you are going to have reports of the capacity. So you have many storage capabilities that you can manage easily your Dataverse consumption and monitor this. So yeah, that's why Dataverse is so powerful, because you can easily manage a whole database with low code. So you don't need to run the script or do heavily code. You, with few clicks, you can manage everything basically in terms of database. Yeah, okay. One question from the chat. What is the difference between model-driven apps and Power Apps? So Power Apps is just the name for all the apps, basically. And model-driven app is one type of app. So within Power Apps, we have Canvas app, we have model-driven app, and we have Power Pages apps as well, websites. Yeah, basically that's it. Yeah, it's just the name. Power Apps is the component, and then types of apps. So next class, we will explain the difference between these apps and when you should use each type of app. So we are going to see this next class, but yeah, it's just we have types of apps under Power Apps. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, solutions. So solution is the most important things, the most important thing for the ALAM, the life cycle. So let's say, so let's read here. So solutions store your apps, automations, dashboards, tables, and more together so they can be managed and used for unified workflows in any environment. So I want to use an analogy here. So we can understand solutions as a box, okay? So this box, you are going to move this box to another places. So same here with solutions. So solutions, you are going to add your components inside the solution. So we are going to add apps, automations, dashboards, tables, security roles, and many things we are going to see today on the demo later on. But yeah, so solution, it's a box. So basically, it's a container that you can add your things. And then we have a manage and manage solution types. So then coming back to the analogy, a managed solution we can see as a open box. Okay, so a managed solution, it's for development. So it's an open box where you can add your apps. So here items can be modified for development and testing. So while you are working, your solution is open. So your box is open. So I'm developing, you are changing components, you're working on the things, you're adding things. And then you should use a managed solutions in a developed environment. And then, so let's say you finish your development, you want to move your solution to other environments. So then we have managed solutions. So coming back to the analogy, managed solution will be, let's say, a closed box. So you have your box, you put your components, and then you close your box to move to another place. So the same thing here with managed solutions. So it's just a way to protect your box, to protect your component. So once you move the solutions to test and production environment, you are closing this, you are locking this component for no one to change it. So basically, manage is the way that you use to protect your company. So no one will be able to change a table, a managed table, or a managed component because it's locked. So you say, this is finished. Yeah, exactly. It's a container. So you lock your container for security, and then you can push this to test environment, to production environment. So yeah, so that's the way that we use solutions. And then we have the full solutions. So the full solutions, basically, it's a root solution that contains everything. So once you create a table, once you create a component, everything goes to the full solution. So the full solution holds everything. It's automated, created, so you don't need to add things to the solution, to the full solution. It just holds everything automatically. So for example, if you are working a customer, and or you are developing something that contains many things, so it's a big environment with many customizations, many apps, and you are trying to find something. If you don't know the solution by name, you can go to the default solution and find this component there, because the default solution has everything. So it's a way that you can find things. And we usually don't work with default solutions. Just in case you need to search for something or check something, you go to the default solution. But this is it's automatically in the environment. And then we have Dynamics 365 solutions. So this as well is automatically created when you deploy Dynamics 365 solutions. So Dynamics is it's built-in apps, modules that you install in your environment. So we have, for example, customer service app, we have field services, we have sales apps. So once you install Dynamics into your environment, we have these automatically solutions installed, and you cannot change it. And this is weekly, monthly, upgraded by Microsoft, and you cannot change it. But this is not the focus. Dynamics is not the focus, but it's just good for you to know that in environments you also can have Dynamics 365 solutions that are upgraded by Microsoft. Okay. Okay, so now here we are going to review the Dataverse functionality. So what we can do, what we do for data modeling, how we create data modeling. So if you have a knowledge of, for example, SQL Server or any relational database, it will be the same here in Dataverse. So Dataverse is a relational database. So here we have the same components. So one important functionality component is tables. So you need the tables to model your data, so the structure that you want. So here, Dataverse tables are used to storage and manage data within the platform. And there are several types of tables, each is serving different purpose. So let's review this table, but we are going to create some tables today as well. Okay, then first type, standard tables. So standard tables are predefined tables included with Dataverse. So these are, once you install a Dataverse environment, you provision on one environment, it comes automatically with some tables. For example, account, for example, contact, task, user. These are common tables for most of the business, and that's why it comes predefined in our environment. So you can customize but not fully customized. You have the capability to customize. And the usage is for general business data management. So you can modify. For example, I worked in clients that they don't use the name account, they use customer. So they can go to the account table and change for customer. You can customize, yeah, you can, but some things you cannot delete. For example, you cannot delete this table. So yeah, it's not fully customizable, but you can. And then we have custom tables. So the custom tables are the tables that you create from scratch. So as your business requirement, as your app needs, so you create your own tables, your custom tables, and these are fully customizable, and it's just based on your needs. And then we have managed tables. So again, managed tables we can understand as a table that is locked, is protected. So you cannot edit this table. So you cannot. So this table is locked, is protected. So users will use this table. So they will add data. They will work with the records, the data, but when we are speaking about development, if you have a managed table in your environment, you cannot edit, you cannot customize. Only if this table is the management in developer environment, for example. So you can, but depending on the environment, the table can be managed in one environment and managed in another environment. So that's the way you are going to customize this table. And then we have activity tables. So activity table, it's kind of predefined type as well. So you can mark a custom table to have to be the activity type. So it means that automatically you are going to have the capability to add activities such as appointments, email, tasks, call. So it's just a set of activities that you can add to this table, to this data. So let's say you have a contact table. Contact table has activities. So your contact, you can easily create appointments for your contact. You can easily create a task, a call. Yeah, that's it for activity. And it can only be owned by a user or a team. So because appointment is for a team, for a contact, a call is for a user or a team. So it's user or teams. And then we have virtual tables. So virtual tables are populated by external data source. So let's say you have a table in SQL, you have a table in Oracle, it's an external data source that you configure to bring data to Dataverse. So it automatically feeds in the table with the external data source. Nowadays is real time. So let's say you configure your virtual table. So this virtual table is going to a SAP table, Oracle table. Once you create something in the external data source, in real time, within seconds, it comes to Dataverse. You can configure if this will be a dual write or just read only. So you can configure the access type that you need. So if it is, you can set as virtual tables read only. So users will only read, or you can have write as well. So if you change something in Dataverse, automatically it goes back to the external data source and change it there. So it depends on the configuration. But yeah, it's kind of data integration. And then we have elastic tables. So elastic tables are designed to storage very large data sets. So if you know that a table will grow very much, so you should create an elastic table because standard tables, I'm not sure right now what is the maximum amount of data that you can have, but it has a maximum. It's pretty big. You can use many data with the standard, but we are saying here a massive large data set, so then you can use elastic tables that basically this will grow as you need. So this is already automated growing and using better indexes, and it's just a specific table for large amount of data. Yeah, I think that's it in terms of tables. So yeah, obviously we work more with standard tables and custom tables, but it's good for you to know that we have more types of tables if you need. Okay, moving forward, columns. Again, we are going to be creating columns today, but we have many types of columns that you can create in Dataverse. So you have text, can be single line or multi-line of text, or just a long text. Number, we can have whole number, integer, decimal, and floating. Choice as well can be single or multi-select options. Date and time can be date only or date and time. Lookup. So lookup, we're going to explain, I will show you how lookups works, but lookup are references for another table. So it's the way that you link two tables together. We use lookups. Then we have Boolean, yes or no values. We have currents. We have images. We have files, unique identifiers, the grid. And then we have some specialized columns type, for example, email. So if you create a column type email, Dataverse automatically will make sure that this column will have a mail structure. So something, a text and then @.com or .something. So we have built-in validations for mail, for example. Font as well, you can format the font as you need. So this will make sure that you have the right formatting in this column. URL, symbol, owner, status reason. So yeah, there's many type of columns that you can leverage and to facilitate your data modeling as well. Okay, then moving forward here. Here we have, this is the other types of columns, automated columns, let's say. So we have calculated fields. So calculated fields automate calculations. So you can use formulas, you can use functions to calculate automatic sampling for you. So once the form is loaded, sorry, we are going to see form later on, but once a form is open, this column will be automatically calculated for you based on the function, on the formula that you added. And then you also can use columns for related records or related tables. You can use the relationship between the tables on the calculated fields. Then we have roll-up fields. Roll-up fields aggregate values from related charge records. So let's say that you have a table and you want to summarize, you want to count things from the charge table. So you have a data modeling, you have a parent table, and you have child tables. So basically, you can use the formulas to roll up this data to the parent. So when you access the parent, you see based on the things that you need, you can see the count, you can see the average, you can see the sum from the child. So it roll-ups to the parent. And the difference here with roll-up field is the calculation, it's scheduled. It's a job that will be scheduled. So I don't know, once a day, twice a day, these fields are roll-up, are calculated. So you have system jobs that will run and update this field. And then you have formula fields. So formula fields, you can use PowerFacts formulas. So you can, it's formula, it's functions, you can use many times, many things that you can leverage PowerFacts functions. And the difference here is for the formula fields, they are calculated in real time. So you don't need to wait for a scheduled job or to open the form. No, once a column that is part of the formula field is changed, automatically the calculation will be done in real time as well as you change the fields. And this is, all these fields are read only, so no one can go and change it manually. It's just the calculated, so this will be read only. Only the calculation will change it. Okay, let's move forward. So please do let me know in the chat if you have any questions. So at the end we are open for Q&A as well. But yeah, feel free to use the chat. Okay, relationships. So again, we are talking about we are talking about relationships. We are talking about data modeling. So relationships is a key part of a database, right? Okay, so you can utilize keys. So keys. Keys is the thing that you use to maintain the contract. Let's say contract between the tables. For example, if you have a key that it is, let's say, the index. So key is user to connect the keys. So you have a contract for external data search. So you want to just structure that table to be the key. So the key can be a number, string, data, or option set. So depending if you have a data integration, but yeah, key is just the main column there that will lead the rest of the record. So we need to know that you can set up keys and alternative keys as well. So it's just the same as a database. It's a key, just to make sure you have this contract. And then relationship. So here we have three types of relationship that you can create in Dataverse. So one to many. So one item in the current table can be associated with many items. So one table, one records can have many other records related to that one. So one to many. So it's the way that you link your data. Or the opposite, you can have many to one. It's very similar, just changing the direction. So many items can be associated with one item. So it's just the direction here. And then you have many to many. So you can have many things related to another many things. So it's just the type of relationship that you can create here. Okay, let me see here the chat. Now we are good. Okay, let's talk a little bit about forms. So forms, again, forms and view are components of Dataverse, and they are underneath the table. So when you set up a table, we are going to see that we can have forms, we can have views, we can have many things under a table. So forms and views are under tables. Forms. So forms is the user interface for a table. So let's say you create a table, and how the users are going to see this table, the data will be through forms. So you can have many forms for one table. For example, one team are going to use one form, another team are going. It's just the way that they work with the data. So it's just the way that they see, they interact, the users interact with the data is through forms. We are going to create farms today, so don't worry. We are just reviewing here the concept, but we are going to do a hands-on demo. Yeah, and then we can have many types here of farm. So we have main farm. Main farm is just the default farm. So this the users can view and edit. So this is just the main farm. You can have more main farms as well, but yeah, usually is the default farm is the main farm. Then we have quick create. So quick create, quick view, and quick create are just simplified versions of the app, of the form, sorry. It's just a simplified forms. So usually also they open in a different way. So main form is going to open in a full screen, and quick view and quick form you can set how this form will open. Usually when you see like it's just a half of the screen, it's just quick create, because you don't need to leave your full screen to go and edit something or create something. It's just a quick simplified version of a form. And then we have cards. Cards usually for mobile device is just also, again, a simplified, very simplified, just a card. So you also can have card forms. Then we have views. So views, again, is just the way that you are going to work with the data, how you are going to display the data for the user. So you can define columns to display. You can have order of columns, sorting, filters. So we are going to see, but it's just the way that you aggregate data for the users to visualize. So you can have a list, a view of contacts, of active contacts. For example, you can sort your data by active, inactive, types. So yeah, so view, you can build lists and you can add filters to this list. And then we can have personal view, system view, or public view. So personal view is the view that users create, but only they can see it. They can share with other users, but it's their view. So it's my view. So I build a view the way that I like. I want a view that show contacts created last year, contacts created today, tickets created this month. So I can personalize my views to show the data as I need, just to be easy. Once I open, I can see it, my data easily. System views are views that are for all users, and this is maintained by the system. So you cannot change a system view, but you can create a personal view based on the system. But yeah, you cannot change. And same thing with public view. So system views, the difference between system and public, system is maintained by the system. It's locked, it's protected, you cannot change it. Or public view is for all users, but you can add it. So the management of the app, of the Dataverse, can change the public view, and it is for all users. But here we are just talking about the way that you visualize the data. So you create a table, how users are going to interact with this data, with forms, with views. Okay. Okay, no questions. Yeah, same thing with charts. So charts and dashboards. It's just the way that it's a visual components that you can add for your tables to help users to see the data. So to supporting numeric operations, so to manage your data, you can use chart. Chart, it's a graphic. It's a chart. Okay, you can do. You can use many things in chart, and dashboard is the way that you group the charts. So dashboard contains many charts, but for dashboards, you can have external things as well. You can have a web source, you can have HTML code in your dashboard, you can have external Power BI chart, Power BI visual thing in your dashboard as well. So yeah, dashboard is not about charts, but you can add different things as well. But it is pretty much about the way that you visualize the data. Okay. Okay, I think we had a good review here of the components, and now we are going to navigate the make preview powerapps.com. So this will be our main space, our workspace to work with Dataverse. So if you need to create a solution, a table, so that is the place that you need to go, make previewpowerapps.com. So let's go and let's review all of these components and do a hands-on. Let's create some tables. Let's play with forms. So I think now you are going to, the things are going to make sense because we are just review the concept, but now let's see how this actually works. Okay. Let me open here my environment. Okay, so here I am in my workspace, in my Power Apps workspace. So this is where you go to use your Dataverse. So many things here. So for the first thing that you need to pay attention is the environment. So here in the top right side, you have your environment. So make sure you are in correct environment. So you can have many environments as part of Power Platform. We can have that development environment, we can have test, production. So make sure you are working in the correct environment here. So this is my environment. And then here in the middle, we have Copilot. It's AI. So here you can use prompts to work with the data as well. So AI is everywhere. As you should know, AI is everything nowadays. So you can also use Copilot AI to create things in Dataverse. So you say, I want to create a table, create a student table, for example. So you can use prompts to play with your Dataverse. I'm not going to create today because Copilot's not the focus, but yeah, you can use AI to create many things here. And then here on the left hand side, we have our home page. Then here we can create apps. So if you click create, so we are going to create app next class, but here you can create agents, flows, AI hub, websites. So here is just create apps, learn, navigate you to some material. So let's say you are looking for a course, you are looking for a specific topic that you want to learn more. You can go to learn and search. It's a learning guide here. So you can search by topics, you can search by area, articles, or even reach out the support here in case you have a problem. You can find some resources here. Plan. So plan here is just the way that you create a new plan. It's just something that will guide the users. This is not our focus today, but here you can create some plans, and AI can help you as well on this. It's just, let's say, steps that you can define for your team to know. So let's say I'm creating a plan to do something, like task or something like that. So you can create here, and will be available for your team. Again, we have apps like here. So apps, my apps, the apps that I develop, the apps that are shared with me. So I did not create these apps, but it was shared with me. So I do have access to these apps. And then here, all apps. So yeah. AI Hub. So here as well, you can have some AI functionality. So you can work in AI models, document automation. So yeah, you have a few things here. And then tables. So here, tables. This is the place that you can create tables. You can start from a blank table. You can create a table with Excel template. You can create with a SharePoint list. So it's just a few templates that you can use, or you can get started with Copilot. So you can create a table with Copilot as well. And then here, this page here will list all tables that you have in this environment. So here you can browse the tables. You can see custom tables. So recommended tables is the table that are used the most. So the use the most is recommended. Custom is the custom tables that you create, that your team created. And then alt tables is just everything, alt tables that you have in this environment. You can also go check flows. Here we have a flow section if you want to create some automation. I believe flow will be in 2 weeks. So next week we are going to see model-driven apps, and then the 2 weeks classes will be flow. So we'll be exploring how to automate things. So pretty cool flows, very powerful as well. And then solutions. Okay, solutions. It's best practice to always use solution. So because if you don't use solutions, you are just creating directly in your environment. So instead of adding the components in a component, you are just creating the environment. And if you want to find these components, can be hard. So it's best practice to always start create things from a solution. Then this will be easy for you and for your team to maintain the things, the components, everything that you are creating. You know where to go, you know where is the components, you can easily go to the solution and find everything. But let's say you are just testing something, or you are working something that it does not require a solution. You can come here in the tables and create tables here. There is no problem. You can do that. But I recommend using the solutions because it's the way that you can organize your development, your components, or things. So it will be easy to find it. And then here, manage, as we mentioned, manage, it's open box, open container. You can change it. Then manage. So here I can see that I have managed solutions. So this is all locked. So let's say that let me open a solution here. And then here it comes a pop-up say, you can now directly edit the objects within a managed solution. Yeah, it's just, you can see the components, but you cannot add it. So it's just a bit slow. Let me, yeah, okay. So for example, in this solution here, we can see there is an app. You cannot change it, but you can see the components. So there is an app, there's some tables here as well. So this is one example of managed solution. Okay, let's go back. So here, there are more things that you can add. You can pin to your Power Apps workspace. But for example, if you are doing a connection, data flow, you can ping, you can discover. There's Power Platform is really powerful, so you can have many things here. I highly recommend you to review and see what is the full capability. So there's so many things to do it, so many things that you can do within Power Apps, Power Pages, Power Platform. You can ping more things here. And here as well, you can explore other things in Power Platform. You can go to Power Pages, Power BI, Admin Center, Power Automate. So here you can just navigate to other components. But for today, our focus is data modeling. So let's create a solution, and then let's see how we create tables, how we create columns in Dataverse. Okay, so first things first, new solution. We are going to create one solutions for our class today. So let's say textiler class. So this is my display name, and this is the name. The only difference here is, so display name, you can have spaces, and name is just the logical name. It doesn't have a space. So it's just, you can have a display name, you can have a logical name behind the things. Then the publisher. So the publisher, it is a configuration that will have some options here. So publisher is the publisher configuration. So for example, the publisher defines the prefix of the component. So for example, here I have my default publisher, and this is the prefix. So it means that all components that I'm creating as part of these solutions is using this publish and is going to have this prefix. So, and this will be easy for you to find the components. So let's say you have different teams developing this environment, and you want to say, this team is going to use this publish, another team is going to use a different publish, and you can define the difference. So team one publisher, and then you can use team one prefix. So all components that team one creates is going to start with team one. Team two, same thing. You create a publisher for team two. All components created by team two will have team two. Or you can have finance, you can have a sales, so you can play with the publisher just to differentiate the components, how the components are going to be. Publisher, who owns the components is the publisher. So the publisher is the how you are tagging the components creation. So you are going to see when we create a new table, you see this will be the prefix of the publisher, the component, and here we can have versions. So you can start with I don't know, we can start with version 2, for example, but let's keep one. So set as preferred solution. So here is just to be easier for you to find the solution. But here we have, you can add the description. So just to describe what the solution is used for, is just a text. And here, configuration page, nothing important here, but Nothing, I'm not sure, to be honest, about configurations, yeah, but you don't need to worry about it. And then here, manage. So because we are in development, we are going to create a managed solution. So let me now create this solution. No questions? Feel free to ask questions in the chat. Okay, so now we have our solution. So it's our container, it's our box. So now you can start creating the things that you need, okay? Let's create a table. So let's create one scenario here. So let's say that we want to manage, okay, let me think. So let's say that we want to manage equipment. So let's work with this scenario. So let's say that we want to create, we will create this app next class, but we need to create the tables first. But let's say that we want to create an app that will manage equipment and will manage maintenance. Okay, let's work with this scenario. So let me create a new table. So here is the solution. So what you can do here, you can add new components. For example, you can create an agent, you can create an app, automation card. So you have many things that you can add and create as part of the solution. So here, and then table more, you have so many more things here. You can explore this later, but there is so many components that you can create inside a solution. So you can explore these in your own environment. But when you click new here, you have many things that you can create. So, and before we create, so also you can add existing things to a solution. So you can create a new solution and get existing components from this environment to add to the solution. So you have a box, and let's say you have another solution with another component, but you want these components to be also in this solution as well. So one component can be in different solutions, in many solutions. Not because you create a component as part of one solution that is going to be always in this solution. It can be always in this solution, but it can be also in a different solution. So you can come here and add existing components. You can add existing tables. So if you click here, for example, I can search contact table. That is a predefined table. I can add this table to my solution. So once I add, I can choose the components from this table that I wanted to add. So let's say that I want to include everything about contact. I want the full table inside the solution. So I can mark include all components. But let's say that I don't want all components. I just want few things from this table. So because if you add a full table usually it's a big thing, and the solution will be large. So let's say, coming back to the analogy again, box. So if you add many things to a box, the box will be very heavy to carry to another place. So same thing here with the solution. If you add many things into a solution, the solution will be very big to export and also to import to another environment. So try to be conscious about your solution, trying to add less, because when you add less, when you add just the things that you really need, you have a better management. It's easier for you to import to another environment, because if you have many things in your solution, it can be a mess to work with the components. So try to have solutions, focused solution I'm going to have solution that is for this app. So I'm adding only things for this app. So try to focus and to split your work within solutions. I have app number one, I have app number two. Create separate solutions for this app. So this will be best practice when you are editing. And let's say that you have two apps. If you have, you can have two apps in one solution, that's no problem. But let's say that you have two apps. One app is ready to go for production, and the second app is not ready to go to the solution. If you have only one solution with these two apps, how you are going to deploy only one app. So think about when you are creating a solution, when you are structuring your data, think about how I'm going to do the LAM, how I'm going to deploy these apps. Do I need to separate? No, I can have, or no, I can have one solution with everything. So think about the structure of this, because this will help you for the next steps, on the next steps, okay? And then, for example, let's say that I just want to add few columns in this solution. I'm going to work with account address, and that's it. Let's say that I'm going to work with only this form here. So select only the things that you want to work with. Don't select everything, okay? So I'm going to add this just for you to see how this we are going to look like. So here I'm adding an existing table with 6 forms, 4 columns. Okay, it's very focused on only the things that I want. Then I'm bringing this component, I'm bringing piece of this component of this table to my solution. Okay, so then here, then I added my table, and then I can see here only the components that I added. So here, contact, so columns, only the columns that I selected will show up here. And here you can see here, you can see only the columns that I selected, and same thing with the farms, only the farms that I select. So in this way, you can choose, okay? Coming back to the solution, what else do we have here? So of course, here's the tree view. So here is the way that you find the components. So it's by type. So as you add the components, will be under each type here. Then you can publish and then switch to classes, but you don't need to worry about this. But this is just a different way to visualize the old way that we used to work. But you don't need to switch to classes. So you have everything in this new UI. Okay, so coming back to our example, we are going to build an app to maintain equipment, okay? And then I'm going to create a new table. Okay, so for creating new tables, you have some options that you can choose. You can create a table using Copilot prompts. Yeah, as I mentioned, Copilot is everywhere, AI is everywhere. You can create prompts. Let's say, create a table of equipment that contains 5 columns, and you can define the columns, so you can have, you can start creating tables with prompts. So this is useful when you know everything that you need. But yeah, I don't know, you can do it, but let's start from the blank. So from the blank, you see all the steps that we need on the table. You can create from SharePoint list or Excel, but usually we go from scratch, we go from blank. Okay, then blank. Here I'm going to create a table that calls equipment. Okay, so this is our table. So I change the name here. So here, once you start adding more tables, you see you can create relationship. This is a workspace, so you can start adding and visualize things. So okay, so this it's my new table, and then I can start creating my columns here. You see in one single place, you can create a table, create columns, even create data for this table. Okay, so let me insert let me insert a column here. So let's say I want actually name. So let me see here. Yeah, edit column. Yeah, I will create a table called name. And the table name will be single line of text. Yeah, name of equipment, name of equipment. So this is a column. So then here I can define the data type. So as we reviewed this earlier, so you can have different types of columns: text, number, date and time, lookup, choice. We are going to create a few columns here to see how it go. But yes, yeah, let's keep text, single line of text, and you also can have a format, a specific format. Email, phone number, text area, symbol, URL, so you can format your text. Let's keep text only as well. So, and here you can mark if this column is required or not. It's mandatory. So let's mark, because our equipment, every equipment has a name. So let's make it required. Okay, what else here? New column. So now let's see that this equipment has a serial number. It's just the ID of this equipment. And let's make this ID a text as well, and this will be required. What else? So here, let's create a new column called category. In category, let's say this will be a choice. So choice will have predefined options that the users can select. So category, let's say one type of category. Let's say we cannot. So types of equipment. So I won't mention anything here, but I'll say category 1. I don't know, it can be, I don't know what type of equipment we are talking about, but let's say category 1, category 2, but this can be anything that you need, anything that your app needs. So let's define 3 categories. We can change this later, but let's say that we have 3 categories. And for the choice, and this, let's mark this required. So you also can mark, for example, multi choices. I don't know, for some reason, if you want the equipment to have multiple categories, you can do it. But let's keep simple categories here. And for the choice, you have label, you have value. So here you can change the value, just be easier one. You can keep this number, but usually I put a simple value here, and this will be just the key of the choice. And then you also can define a default. So let's say that you always want to start with category 1, and then users can change it. But for now, let's leave it with no default choice. So it's just the users will be able to pick these 3 different categories. And then, so let's say let's create, for example, a purchase date. So when was the day that this equipment was bought? So when was the purchase date? And then let's pick here date and time type. And let's say here we only need the date. We don't need the date and time because you don't care about the time that this was bought. Let's say that you just care with the date. So then we can have format. We can have data type date and time and format date only. Okay, cool. I like the suggestion here. So let me create quantity. Let's make quantity. Thank you. And then let's say this will be a whole number. No formats. You can choose some formats, but whole number. Data type, and this will be required. Let's mark everything as required, but it can be optional as well. And then let's say location, where this was location. Let's say this will be a choice as well. So let's say look, I don't know, region location. So let's say Africa, I don't know, Africa. Then we can have Europe. We can have, I don't know, Asia. Just some example. Yeah, same thing. You can put whatever you need here, but let's see. America as well. Okay, and let's make this optional. For some reason, if you don't know what is the region when you were creating this data, you can make this optional. Let's make optional. And then let's say here status. Oops, no row, new column. Let's say status. What is the status of this choice as well? Let's say active. This is equipment that is being used. So this is active or inactive. I don't know. For some reason, this equipment is not being used anymore. Okay, so here we have the columns that we created. So and then so here another thing that we also have is the properties. You can also define some properties of this table. So what is the primary column? So you can pick primary column. So let's say here the primary column is the name of the equipment. Then also here we can see some other things. So equipment. So as I said, this will be the prefix that we define on the solution. So the schema name, it will always start with this and you cannot change it. But yeah, so I think our table is ready. So once you create the columns, you can save and exit. So save. So this is going to be it's going to save your table. Let's wait a little bit. Okay, then here you see the table. Where's the table? So let me refresh. Okay, let's wait. Okay, yeah, sorry, my internet connection is slow, but now you can see that we have two tables, one that we added from the environment and another that we create. So here, if we expand this table, you see components of a table. So table, we have columns, we have relationship, keys, forms, views, charts, business rule. We are going to create a business rule next week. But yeah, so here are the components. If I expand again on the columns, so here we are going to have the columns that we created. So from here as well, it's just a different way. You can create a new column from here as well, or you can add it. So let's add it. So I like the suggestion on the chat. So let's change the status. Let's say this will be available, and this equipment can be unavailable. And then just, I like to change the value, but you can keep the value here. It's just the key of this choice, but yeah, you can also change or add columns like this. Okay, just saving. Okay, so then let's create a new table. Let's create one more table. So here, let's say we are maintaining, we need to maintain this equipment. So let's say we are creating maintenance tasks. So let's say we are going to perform some maintenance tasks for each equipment. So let's create this table. And then let's create here, let's say task name. And then let's say new column, let's say, yeah, let's create now what we need. So we have, sorry, someone is lost. Okay. So what we are doing, we are creating tables. So we are creating a foundation of the app. So we are going to create app next week. But today, what we are going to do, what we are doing, we are creating tables that will be part of our app. And the app that we are creating will be equipment maintenance tasks. So we created an equipment table, and now we are creating a related table that it is maintenance tasks. So here I'm just showing you how is the interface, how you create tables, how you create columns in Power Platform in Dataverse. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, then I am creating a maintenance task table. We create equipment. So let's say that we need to create a relationship between these two tables. So we have equipment, and you want to have many maintenance tasks to work in this equipment. So what we are going to do here, we are going to do a lookup. We are going to reference, we are going to link these two tables. So then you are going to see how this works, but bear with me for a second. So here we have maintenance task, then let's say equipment. What is the equipment that we are creating? So yeah, equipment. Then here we are going to pick a lookup. Lookup is the way that we related to tables. So here you need to choose what is the related table for this. So here I'm picking here I'm not sure about this. No, sorry. Yeah, for creating we need to create a lookup after we create the table, because as we didn't save yet, we cannot pick a lookup. So let's keep working on the things. Then let's leave the lookup for later. Okay, so then let's say that in this task we have priority. Priority. I will pick here choice. And then required, let's say we have a high priority and we have a low priority. So when this task needs to be performed, then save, and then here, new column. Let's say we have a schedule date when this task will be performed. When is the schedule date? So here, and then let's keep date and time, because the schedule, we need to know here what is the time. Okay. And then, okay, let me save. Okay, let me just create one more column here. Let's say status of this task. So let's say here I want to say this task can be new, can be in progress, can be completed. And let's change this. So here, yeah, so here we have the status. Okay, save and date, save and exit, sorry. So now we are saving the table. Just wait here a little bit. And then we are going to create lookups. We are going to related maintenance and tasks. Okay, so I created a contact table but couldn't add it. So what we can do is, once I finish the demo here, we can go and see what's the problem you guys are having, and I can help you. Let me just finish showing these, and then we can move to the Q&A, and we can see the questions, okay? Okay, so now I have 3 tables in my solution. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to make a relationship between equipment and maintenance tasks. So I want to define here that one equipment can have many maintenance tasks. So each maintenance task, it's going to be related to only one equipment. So to achieve this design, to achieve this data modeling, I need to create a lookup to reference these 2 tables. So let's create a column type lookup. So here, okay, I'm going to create equipment. And then I'm going to say lookup. Okay, so what is the type of, what is the table that I want to reference? Now that I create a table, I can pick equipment. So here, equipment, okay. Save. So here now we created a reference. We create a relationship between these 2 tables. Yeah, so here, as you can see, all the columns, equipment. So here, yeah, so here, equipment, if I click, yeah, it's a related table. So once you create the lookup, once you create the column lookup, you cannot change, go back and change. So if you pick a wrong table here, you need to delete this column and create again, but this will be locked for the lookup. Yeah, usually you cannot change the data type. Once you create a column, you cannot go back and change the data type. You can change the format, for example, data and time, data only. So few columns types It allows you to change the format, but you cannot change the data type. So once you create, will be there unless you delete and create this again. But yeah, you cannot change it. Okay, so now we created equipment, we create maintenance, we brought contact from this environment to our solution. Let me create just one more table that we'll be using in our app. Table. Okay, then start from blank. So I'm going to create a tag. Let's say technician logs. So we have equipment, we have maintenance task, and we have technician logs. So if I am technician working the maintenance of this equipment, I want to type some logs for the history of this equipment, okay? So yeah, let me then create technician logs. Then here, let's say that we are having, okay, let's say we have here data, let's say name, and then let's say here we have log notes, and then we are going to make these a text area, so multi-line, so this can be a text, a big text. Okay, log notes, and then let's make here date per format. I don't know, just the date that we are populating this, date only. And let's say that we want also to define time spent. Let's define how many hours we did work in this task. So here I'm going to pick a number, a whole number here. We don't need any format, it will be just an integer number, and this is required. Okay, now I'm going to save this table. Yeah, just bear with me. This will be clear when you create the app. We are going to see, but for now we are just creating tables. This is the first step. Okay, so now we have 4 tables in our solution. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create relationships between maintenance task and technician logs. So I'm going to, we did create lookups. Lookups is a way that you can reference tables, but here let me show you another type of relationship that we can create. So if I come here to maintenance task, let's say I'm creating a relationship for technician logs. So let's say new relationship. So I'm going to create one task can have many logs. So for example, that a task, it's a big task. You need to do many things. So let's say here, I'm going to, you want to log many details of this task. So I'm going to create one-to-many relationship. So for creating relationship, so you can, it's simple. You just pick the table that you want. So here, I'm going to pick technician logs. And then here you can add lookup, or you can add a simple. This is just a different way of creating a lookup. So you can go ahead and create a lookup, a column lookup, or you also can create a relationship that at the end will be the same thing. Okay, we are creating a lookup column, but this is just a different way of creating a relationship. You can define more things here. Okay. Okay, done. So now we have created the relationship between all these tables. So one equipment has many tasks, and a task can have many logs. So we do have our data model in place, the foundation, the basics of our app. So what I'm going to show here, just before this, let me create just one more column that this will be the person. Yeah, the person that did the task. So let's say here, technician name. Technician name. And this will be a lookup for contact. So lookup, and here we are picking contact. So this, we are doing another relationship here now between task and contact. So we are saying, who is doing this task? I want to pick from the contact table who did this task. So yeah. Okay, here. Yeah, okay, we have now the data modeling, we have the foundation. And what I'm going to do here, let's check forms. So for today, before we finish our class, so today we are going to work on the forms, work on the views. The next classes, we are going to do the model-driven app, the app. Form, okay, let me go to this form that is, actually, let me create a new form. So I will create a main form here, and this will say equipment form. Creating a form. As I said in the beginning, forms is just the way that users will interact with the data. So as you can see here, as part of the automation in the Dataverse, the forms are, I already have my columns, my custom columns here in this form. So what I can do here as well, I can change, for example, the position. So one thing, so here, let's review what we have here, okay? So we create a form, and then what we can do here. Here you can see the columns that you want to pick. So you can bring these columns, for example, created on. So I can drag and drop the columns. So I can easily drag and drop columns from here. So here is the list of all columns. So you can drag and drop in the form. And then here you can add components. So you can add, to organize your form, you can add components. So let's say I'm going to add one section here. I don't know, for example, I'm going to say equipment. No, I'm going to say details. So this is just a way, details. So section columns is just a way that you can organize. Put a name here, general. Details, for example, let's say that I want to put category here under details, and I want to put region under details. Yeah. And also from here, you also can create table from here. You also can do it. So let's say I'm working my farm and I realize that is missing one field. So let's say description. I want a description of this. So you can easily also create columns from the farm. Yeah, so I have the description. So other thing that you also can do you can format. So let's say I want to say the layout. You can play with the layout. So let's say I want this section, this column here to be 2 columns. So here, what you can do, you can play with the format of the form. You can drag and drop. You can make 2 columns. You can make 3 columns, 4 columns. So you can structure the farm, because this is a visual. So this is how end users will work with the farm. So you can add, you can personalize the farm as you wish. Okay, the name here. But yeah, so we have tabs, we have sections. So this is just you can explore more here. But here under components, you can add a space, for example. You can add a timeline. We are going to see timeline next classes. But you can have a subgrid, you can have a column. So yeah, layout. So there's many things that you can add, display, you can add external website, HTML. So you can add many things into a form, depends on what you need. So I highly recommend for you guys to explore the forms and see all the options that we have available here. But for today, I'm just showing the basics, okay? And then, so let's say that I'm happy with this form. So what I need to do now is to save and publish. Okay, just save and publish. So once you publish, this will be visible for other users. When you are working here, creating the things, if you don't publish, this is just visible for you. So other users won't be able to see it unless you publish. So here I publish, so now I can come back. Okay, and then what else here? So let me create a view. So for example, let's say I want a view. So let's say here I want all equipments by purchase date. Let's say all active equipment by purchase date. So we are going to work a little bit here in this view. So again, view is just a way that we can show data to users. So this is the view that I created, so I can drag and drop the fields that I want. So let's say name of equipment, then purchase date, then quantity, region, status. So I can drag and drop only the things that I want to show. For example, I don't, okay, serial number, but let's say I don't want the description in the view. Just want this. So you can add the columns only the columns you want to show. Then what I'm going to do here as well, I'm going to edit a filter. I'm going to say only in this view only shows active equipment. So only active equipment. So I'm filtering. So I'm filtering the records as I need. So let's pretend that I want also only to show, for example, category equipments of a specific category. So I can filter as I need. So let's say I need bring only equipments bought last year. So I can play with the filters in my views to do the conditions that I want. So you can split. You can have one view for equipment in category 1, equipment in category 2. So you can define the filters for your views. Okay, and then once a user use this view, they will see the filtered data. And then, okay, so we added here status, and now let's add it here, sort by purchase date. So I want this to be sorted by purchase date. Okay, so the less for the bigger. So you can also sort columns. You can add another. So let's say that you want to sort, I don't know, by the serial number as well. So this can have to sort by columns. So yeah, I think this is it about views. So you can drag and drop columns, you can sort by, you can filter by. So you can play as you wish here. Then let me save and publish. Okay. What else? I believe that was it for today. So the main purpose of today class was to review Dataverse components and to explain what it is each component, create tables, create views, create relationships, and then next week we are going to create the app. We are going to see how to create a model-driven app. We are going to create business rules to hide, show fields, make fields mandatory. So for today, if you can practice, you can be familiarized with the Power Apps solutions, create solutions, create a table, play with forms, play with views. This will be crucial for building the model-driven app. So this will be a very important structure of model-driven apps. And then next classes, we are going to see how these tables are going to be part of the app, how we are going to interact with the data for this. But yeah, for this week, please try to be familiarized with these components that I show here today. I'm going to be here for questions, but I will be stopping the recording today and for today. But yeah, let me just stop the recording, and thank you very much if you're watching this in YouTube, or thank you for joining this class. And yeah, that's it. So let me stop the recording.